Today we are discussing boundaries when you are in an argument with your significant other. And really, what are the things that your significant other knows never to say, or what line never to cross in an argument with you, like your sore spot? And then also, what are the consequences in the relationship if your significant other does cross that line and doesn't, respect your boundaries?
My main point when we are having a discussion or an argument is what is good for you is good for me. If you're allowed to talk about something, I'm allowed to talk about something. If you're allowed to take offense with something, I'm allowed to take offense with something. And that's where I think we get a lot of friction, because I end up, and maybe this is just being immature, I end up saying to you exactly what you're saying to me just to hurt you, because you realize what you're saying was just to be hurtful.
I take a very different stance than Phil. I don't necessarily believe do unto others as you'd have done to you, because there are certain hot spots that will bother me that will not bother Phil based on my past, based on his past. I know that his Achilles heel, for example, if I start talking about money, it sets him off because of his past and things that he's dealt with in his past. And when I talk about wanting to spend money or call him out on how he's spending money or not spending money, that becomes an issue for him.
So did Stephanie ever say anything that just made me shut down? And I'm sure, but I can't remember anything, because I think of what are the key things you don't want to talk about. You don't want someone talking about your family. You don't want to talk about what you how you act. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. It's a terrible answer, but I don't know.
That'd be a no. And he calls me names. That is a boundary that he is crossing. He gets to a point where he will name call, and there are no consequences. I don't know what I'm supposed to do other than ignore it and remain emotionally calm and act like it doesn't bother me, but it does. And so a friend said to me, well, you know what you need to do? Every time he behaves that way, you need to go out and go shopping and spend money, and say to him, when you make me feel lousy like this, it makes me want to comfort myself, and I don't want to comfort myself with food anymore. So I am going to go comfort myself with shopping instead.
Wow. That is perhaps the worst advice anyone could ever give you.
Because that'll really piss him off, and he'll learn to associate it. Now,
Hold on. I think that's really good. I think it's a perfect point, that what's good for one is good for the other. So if you piss me off for some arbitrary reason that I deem is important, which you don't, I should go out and cheat on you. I should go out and do all these other things, because then I can say, you see, you shouldn't have done it. So whatever friend told you that advice, maybe you should look elsewhere for advice.
That's why we're in therapy.
And that's why.
I get my advice from trained people now.